and welcome to Time Out with Sports Adda. Salil, Bhavik, what a game we've had on our hands. It never looked like one way. It was always a two-way traffic, and in the end, Rajasthan
Absolutely.
Royals coming out victorious. Just like you said, Salil, they will win by a small
With a
margin, and
wicket.
they did. Yes, with a wicket. What do you have to say about that?
Well, it was an amazing match to watch. I feel very, very bad for Shreyas Iyer and company. But I think the better team prevailed on an absolute batting track where even KKR were brilliantly going ahead. I mean, and if you see their scorecard, you'll know how they've batted. Their top three were absolutely brilliant. They chased down almost till the 10th, 12th over. You thought that you were going to take this team down. But yeah, Rajasthan prevailed. They needed that one good over. They got it. They needed a great breakthrough.
I
They got it. And they won it in the end.
exactly, exactly. And Chehel had some other plans. He took a hat trick, he
Yeah.
took 3 wickets, then he picked up a fifer. I
Yep.
think it's his first in the IPL. It was a phenomenal performance. And just like the orange cap, I think the purple cap race is also gone completely one sided for now. So, Bhavik, if you can
Yes.
have a look at the scorecard and you could tell me what did you make of this whole innings and how good was Rajasthan? How clinical were they in the second half of the innings?
I guess they were only clinical in two departments. One was Yuzvendra Chahal's match turning over, and the other one was Obed McCoy's final over.
Oh, yes.
So
Yep.
much drama, so much ups and downs. It was like a seesaw, and this is a game for ages. The spectators in the stadium will have their money's worth. And if we
Yeah.
even look at the scorecard, as we predicted, Shreyas Iyer and Aaron Finch to fire big, and they certainly did. You know, big time.
Exactly.
It was, this was due. Both Finch and Iyer were looking for some form. Just that Andre Russell, didn't just connect today. But then again, it's a
This is,
fantastic game for tonight.
Yep.
I think the Andre Russell moment should be credited to Ravichandran Ashwin, who happened to be the most economical and took that
While
wicket of Andre Russell. I think that was something absolutely brilliant we got to
I
watch.
remember, I
Right.
remember, quoting that Andre Russell might just dominate Ashwin in the mid-match show, but it went the other way around. So kudos to Ashwin.
And
That was one of the biggest wicket of this night. And yes,
yes, yes, absolutely. And the celebration was also pretty dramatic. He ran like a football player after scoring a goal,
Yeah.
going right till outside the 30 yards, and just the way he celebrated, it
he's
was
always
phenomenal to see
animated.
Ashwin. He is, absolutely he is. So, we made some predictions, Salil, Bhavik, before the start of the second innings. If we can have a look at that as to who got what right.
Whoa, Bhavik in the second innings.
Ooh,
8 रन से
I
मैं
got
और
Bhavik in
कोलकाता
the
दोनों हार
comeback.
गए यार.
Yeah, I think
मैं भी 4 विकेट से
Venkatesh Iyer
मैं भी
looks
चार
like a
विकेट से
dark
आ रहा हूँ.
spot for KKR.
Oh yes, he does. He does.
Oh,
I
we
think
got two winners
Salil.
today.
I think Salil, the
Welcome,
tables have turned
Yash.
now. It's come like this. I feel like a winner today. I'm gonna sleep peacefully, finally. But to in all seriousness, Salil, to ask
Very
you,
nice.
how much mental strength do you need? Being a spinner where there is not much assistance, being a spinner on such small boundaries where you've got only one side which is big, other side is quite small. Being a wrist spinner, due, middle overs, chasing the total, already being thumped in the first 2 overs, everything going against you. How much mental strength do you need to come back in such a big game?
Well, I think one is the mental strength that you possess because you've done that in the past, and two, you need a little bit of support from your other bowlers also. So if you recollect, the overs
Right.
around Chahal also were bowled quite economically, and that really put the brakes on KKR. And that is where I think they saw the window, and those last three wickets were absolutely brilliant. I think the last two were brilliantly crafted, and I mean the way you can see how one over can really turn the match. Till that point, till the point Shreyas Iyer was batting, this match was totally going to KKR. There was no reason why they were going to
Oh
lose it.
yes.
They were just three hits away, and then they were chasing it by just taking singles. So, but I mean, this is what cricket does, and honestly, I think the bowlers have really done their job. All of them have been persistent with the line. The batsmen were always going to go for it because you're chasing 10 runs and over from the word go. And yeah, you had some you know cheap falls there for KKR. If you saw Sunil Narayan getting run out on the first ball, and you saw
Exactly.
Venkatesh Iyer, highly sorted for retained player, not performing. One of the big names that are not performing, and Andre Russell going out for not so, and so Phil Cummins. But I think that's what made the difference.
Exactly the
That's what
players
made the
that you
difference.
banked on, Salil. Exactly the players that you banked on that would win you the games, the big names, the Cummins, Russells, and even Venkatesh Iyer. They didn't really fire, and I think that is where those 8 runs are going to haunt them. Now, speaking of about the batting display, how good was Shreyas? Bhavik, if I have to ask you, how good was Shreyas? Finally scoring those big runs that we always speak of, coming in and performing like a captain. What do you make of his innings?
Definitely. I mean, see, this was due just as we discussed, and the intent that was there that we sort of saw. He's dancing down the wicket that he usually does in the IPL. But then again, this was a crunch situation. You're chasing 200 plus. You're walking in after an early wicket. And Sunil Narayan's wicket is something that it does not have a price tag to it. It's just that
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
just have to. He'll just go in. He'll score you those shots. He'll hit fours and sixes. No guarantee. So sorry, but then again, Shreyas Iyer going in facing Prasidh Krishna and Obed McCoy, and I was fairly impressed by Obed McCoy tonight. But yes, in all senses, Shreyas Iyer did took up it onto his sleeve and just barged him, and the score is here for us to see.
absolutely. Now, Salil, final question before we end this show. What do you think would be KKR's plan now coming back into the tournament? They've lost a couple of games. They've lost 3 games, I think, back to back. Out of the 4 games, they've lost three. So it's kind of a downfall, kind of a slump. So how does Brendan McCullum take this team forward with, people performing in patches and the bowling being their major disappointment, which has always been their strength?
yeah. So I think one, they need to really back their players. They cannot, if they don't have enough bench strength, maybe getting a Tim Southee in, but who do you replace? You have an excellent Pat Cummins playing and Dre Russell. So what they need to do is they need to back their talent to begin with, and they need to concentrate on what they're doing right. There were many, many positives from this game. Although they gave away all those runs, they batted brilliantly. I think it was an
Yeah,
off day for maybe a few of those batsmen, and most of them perished in Chahal's over. I mean, that was the
yeah,
magnitude of that over, that brilliant. If you take that equation out, all those wickets could have easily won you the game. So I think there's
yep,
not much to worry about. But then these small situations where you want your key players to play, now is when that talk needs to happen with maybe a Venkatesh Iyer or maybe a Sheldon Jackson who almost had that match and he's playing for as a replacement for Sam Billings. So you have pretty big shoes to fill. So I think a little more
yeah.
responsibility and a little more confidence, they might get through these games. Even Varun Chakravarti needs a great deal, of little confidence booster rather than
Big
a
time.
lot of critiques that are coming his way. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that was it from our experts. We had a great game on our hands. Likely so. Salil predicted Rajasthan is going to win. Bhavik said that they almost have this game to KKR, and we were kind of having a pretty anticlimactic game, going topsy turvy. But then in the end, RR holding their nerves with all that experience that they have, and a win for them. They too have done exceedingly well in this year's IPL. They've been performing really well. They've got their combination right. So we'll see more action tomorrow. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining with me. Salil, Bhavik, I'll see you tomorrow in Timeout with Sports Adda. Good night, everyone.